We are tracking the destructive path of Hurricane Matthew as it threatens millions of people along the East Coast. The Category 3 storm has knocked out power to over 600,000 people in Florida. 120-mile-an-hour winds have toppled trees and ripped roofs off of homes and buildings.
There's heavy downpours, very strong storm surge, fueling extremely dangerous conditions all up and down that coast.
I want to also check in with David Waters. He's the EOC spokesman for Brevard County, Florida. He joins us now over the phone. David, what are you seeing right now where you are?
Well, right now we have an update that there are 2/3 of the county without power, and that is more than 200,000 people. Now, of that, we can tell you that Florida Power and Light, the local power company, has restored power to some 23,500 people who had lost power previously. But here in Brevard County, we have a big problem, obviously, because of the hurricane and the power outages. No causeways are opened, and the causeways are the places that connect people from the mainland to the barrier islands all along the eastern central Florida coast. Now, we had mandatory evacuation, and the mandatory evacuation included all of the barrier islands. Florida Department of Transportation inspectors have only just begun arriving in the county to start the inspection of the bridges. Now, after that, once the FDOT does their inspections, then what will happen is emergency workers will go over and start inspecting the areas to make sure it's safe for people to return. We do have the one small local airport in Brevard County, Melbourne International Airport, which has reopened. But it's not a county that people should rush to return to with a 2/3 outage of the county. It is not going to be a comfortable place for a while. We still have the effects of Matthew overhead. We still have rain, still have winds, and it's not determined to be safe to come back. So for anybody who's thinking of coming back to this area, we advise them for now not to do that.
And we're hearing that half of the emergency shelters in your county actually lost power. How are you helping those people in those shelters who don't have power?
Well, we're in that same position in the emergency operations. We lost our power about 12 hours ago or more and have been running on generators ever since. And even at this shelter that's reinforced in this hurricane, we've had to pop the doors open with the gusts coming in because with that power loss, we lost air conditioning. Now, we still have our communications and are able to coordinate efforts, but it's something that affects everybody in the county, and there's no avoiding it. From emergency operations to 2/3 of the county to some of the shelters. It is just something they have to face. In as many cases as we can, we have generators going, but it's simply not possible to prepare on that scale to keep power going when you have a tropical storm and force winds and then hurricane force winds of a Category 3 coming through.
So, David, what's your biggest concern right now for your area?
Well, it's the fact that people want to rush to come back, and there is a heavy push from people that are just really pushing to get back and hoping to see their homes. And what we have had to remind them minute by minute is the causeways are not open. They haven't been inspected for safety. The areas where they live on the barrier islands have not been inspected to see about the down power lines. Because with more than 200,000 people without power, we can tell you that there are down power lines that are sparking and that are live, and there just hasn't been time to even deal with all of that. And if people walk out into that, there's that very significant danger that they could be killed by walking into an electrified section of water.
All right, David Waters, thank you so much for taking time out. I know it's stressful conditions there. Please stay safe.
You bet.
So hard for these people who even went to shelters and don't have the power, and they just weren't equipped with the backup generators.
Hundreds of thousands of people are really suffering, and worse is still yet to come for those folks in Jacksonville.
Yeah.